Hello world, welcome to episode number 29 of the Jimmy Canz Show. We're here. It's the horror show at Extreme Rules. Prediction time. I mean, these show names are getting so long and convoluted, getting kind of crazy, don't you think, Rod?
It's becoming more and more of a production, more, and what I mean, a cinematic. And I think the situation we're in the world has lent itself to that.
Yeah.
I think they just rolling with it. They rolling with what they got to roll with right now.
Mm-hmm. All right. So, the event's taking place here in Orlando at the Performance Center yet again. We've got 6 matches announced, 4 on the Raw side, 2 on the SmackDown side. I have a feeling we're going to probably get 2 more on the SmackDown side. It'll probably be an 8-match card. But, we'll get into that. So let's, out of the gate, we will discuss the United States Championship matchup. Champion Apollo Crews taking on challenger and former 2-time United States champion M.V.P. Before we get into that, real quick, what do you think of the new title design?
Well, we spent a little time and talked about that last week.
Yeah.
I think
offline.
Offline. We already kind of discussed this a little bit offline, but I'll say for me, it's a real neat and tidy belt. They didn't take a lot of risk with it. It's kind of flat, but like I say, the best compliment I could give it is that it's tidy. You made a great point that it's missing some color. I think we both agree that some splashes of blue maybe on the surface or something to that. I didn't even notice that the word, what was it? United
Champion?
States?
No, champion.
Yeah, I didn't even notice that was in blue. So obviously the blue isn't standing out.
Mm-hmm.
It's a neat, not much.
I mean, there's a lot of detail in it, but the way that they've got it painted and everything, you don't see a lot of the detail. A lot of that doesn't stand out. I think a little paint here and there. Like I said, you don't want to go too far with it, then it gets kind of gaudy.
Exactly.
And everything. But
they need a little bit. They almost
yeah. Like I said, some touches of paint here and there just to make some things stand out. Would help. Like I said, if they put a little bit of blue behind the star field at the top, to mimic a flag there, that would help those stars stand out from the gold background instead of the gold on gold.
Yeah.
And then a little bit of paint on the side plates, just on the outside, just to accent it.
Which color, like blue or just all different, blue and red?
Well, red, white, and blue. A little bit, because they've got some detailing on the side there. They've got some stars, and then they've got some stripes. So, like I said, if you actually kind of just picked out those stars and stripes, because there's not a lot of them, if you just kind of pick them out in the red, the white, and the blue, the way that they kind of and they would kind of stand out away from the plate a little bit, and you'd see that detail. Like I said, you don't want to go too far with it; it gets gaudy at that point. But a little paint here and there, I think, would just make all those details stand out and pop. But anyway.
And one last question: what do you think about the overall geometric design of the front?
The shape. Very old school, very reminiscent to me of the design of the old NWA television title, or the Hogan 84 and 85 World Championship belts. That I think that was an old Reg Parks kind of design. It was used for a lot of different titles back in that time frame. About the 84 to 86 window. A lot of like I said, NWA television title used it. They used it for Hogan's world titles. I think they used it for the NWA national title as well. That it's very reminiscent to me of that. You know what I mean? The kind of shape reminds me of that. It's a little more simplified.
Yeah.
It's all straight edges, whereas that one had some curves to it and everything. But it's still very reminiscent of that.
And maybe that's what was missing is the edges are too sharp. Maybe that's what it is. All
right. So who you got? MVP or Apollo Crews?
Apollo Crews. I think Apollo runs with this title for a little bit. When I see title defenses like this, I know it's kind of a build your resume as a champion type of feud.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not meant to really be a threat to his title, but to just he had a feud with MVP. He defended his title against MVP in a feud. He added to the resume. So I got Apollo Crews. How about you?
I'm kind of 50-50 on this one. I could see Apollo, retaining, but I could also see MVP picking up the win because of Lashley interference. And I could see, the fact that the heels got the other guy in the corner and all that kind of, it's like, I'm kind of, it's a coin toss for me. I got to go one way or another, though. I will say we get a flip. I'm going to say MVP.
Okay. I can see that.
Like I said, it's a coin toss. Like I said, I can see it I can see it both ways. But I got to go one way or the other.
And it's best that you go the other way for me, so it makes the prediction show even more interesting.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
All right. So next up, in the craziest stipulation I think I've ever seen in any professional wrestling match in history, an eye for an eye match, Rey Mysterio taking on the Monday Night Messiah, Seth Rollins. And they flat out said that the winner is determined by the person who rips the other person's eye out. How are they going to pull this one off? I mean, are we going to get some kind of corny horror movie-esque prosthetic eye?
Yes. I have no idea. I don't even know. I don't know what to try to expect, because there's a part that says what you're saying, just the what is it? Army of Darkness eyeball.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Corny B movie. Yeah. Prosthetic eye.
Toxic Avenger. And then there's another part that says no contest, right? And we don't get a resolution. Then there's another part that says they do kind of I fake my knuckle into your eye and you just walk out with your eye closed. But then what do you do after this, right?
Well, I mean, it could play into, a new look, kind of thing for whoever. You know what I mean? Like
so
Ray's already.
Who's most likely to have to be able to hold that? It seems like Ray then, right? Because he's towards the end. He can play it for a little bit of lead.
Right, and that's the thing is like, Ray's already kind of been rocking the mask with the patch underneath. If they were to go that route, they can play, have Seth wearing an eye patch and, and play that into his character and everything. But, it's the way that they've been running with this story thus far.
Mm-hmm.
Ray and his guys have been getting the one up on Seth the last 2 weeks. That usually means it's going to probably go the other way. You know what I mean? Like, Ray and KO went over Seth and Murphy to be able to pick the stipulation. And then last night, they get the one up on Seth, yet again in the grudge match.
I got how it happens. I got how Seth. So I'm going Seth.
Yeah, I'm going Seth as well.
I got how they can do it and make it where he could you don't have to have a prosthetic. Mm-hmm. Have Seth Rollins do the old Kevin Sullivan, flash some fire up in your face. Ray hits the ground. He's kicking, covering his eye, and oh my God. So he wins that way.
Well, here's the other thing you can do with it, with the fact that Ray wears a mask.
Yeah. And
he's already, so things are kind of covered up already. I mean, you can have him have something where he's going at, like where he's gets past something like a sponge with the face, you know what I mean? And he squeezes it over and then Ray just, his face is already kind of covered because of the mask. So it kind of covers things up and you don't see it and everything. So the thing can play out that way. It's not that, won't be that gory, kind of thing. So I'm gonna say Seth, and I could see something like that. So
Okay.
All right.
Hey, do you think that we're at a place right now where we could get away with even the fake sponge gore? Because that seems like a lot.
Yeah, and here's why. It's a pay-per-view. It's not something that's on, on the regular TV. Got it. And, the way that they started this angle with him driving his head into the corner of the step, I don't think this is going to be any worse than that. And that was done on regular, Raw. And they got away with that, and nobody kind of, so I don't think this is going to be that much worse than, if they play it right, it's not going to be that much more over the top and everything. So, all right, next up, let's discuss the Raw Women's Championship matchup. All right, champion Asuka defending against one half of the WWE Women's Tag Team Champions, the boss, Sasha Banks.
I think I'm going with Sasha.
You're going with Sasha. Yeah. So you're going with Sasha, and that means that Sasha and Bayley are going to have all the women's gold?
Yeah. I think that's leading up to SummerSlam.
Under normal circumstances, I would agree with you. But the fact that they, now officially had to pull SummerSlam out of Boston and are going to be doing it again at the Performance Center without a crowd, I think they're trying to save some of these big blow-offs for when they have crowd reaction. Yeah, when they have crowd reactions. So I'm gonna, and they also, last night, Shayna Baszler returned. Kind of, put the women's roster on notice. So makes sense to kind of keep the belt, with Asuka and set something up there. So I'm going to say Asuka retains, set up something with Shayna for probably SummerSlam.
That'll be hot too. Mm-hmm. I like that story arc a lot.
Mm-hmm. So the Asuka lock versus the Karafuda clutch.
Yeah. I see that.
So essentially, rear naked choke versus rear naked choke.
With different names.
Yeah, with different names. So, speaking of the women's tag team champions, the other half of the women's tag team champions and the current SmackDown Women's Champion Bayley will be defending against Nikki Cross. So what do you got there?
I think Bayley retains.
I think Bayley retains.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if they're ever going to fish with Nikki Cross, but they just like to use her as a sort of that Dolph Ziggler.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? She maybe get a tag team title. If there was a mid-card title, I could see Nikki because she's a good worker.
Right.
I don't know if she's face of the division.
Well, here's the other thing, though. I could see them potentially do if they were to go that route and put it on Nikki, it could set things up maybe for a potential heel turn by Alexa, and then set up the whole Alexa Nikki dissension type of thing.
Yeah.
Because I'll be honest with you, I think Alexa's better as a heel. I think she's a far better heel than she is a babyface, and she's been a babyface too long, in my opinion.
So I think the way that you can achieve that, and still, if I'm thinking the way Vince thinks, and not really feeling like Alexa is.
So roll your mind back to about 1983.
Mr. T. I'm thinking that maybe Alexa does the turn as Nikki's about to win the championship to start that.
And cost her?
Yes. The jealousy. She doesn't feel like that Nikki should be the face of the division. Jealousy and get the turn that way, and you still don't. Nikki was about to win, so you feel for her, but we don't make her the face of the division, and then you start that feud that way. So I'm going with Bayley. You're going with Bayley?
Yeah. Yeah, I think I'm probably going to agree. Like I said, if they were to go the other route, I could see, like I said, them going that way to set something up with Alexa and get her heel again. But I think at this point, again, it doesn't make a lot of sense to do certain things right now without any real reactions. And that would be something, that would be a situation where the crowd would the heel turn, you know what I mean? And if you don't have that crowd to react to the heel turn, what's the point of doing it? So, yeah, I'll say Bayley, retains. I'll agree with you on that one.
Okay.
All right. Next up, the WWE Championship matchup. champion, the Scottish psychopath, Drew McIntyre, defending against the show-off, Dolph Ziggler, and the stipulation has yet to be announced. Ziggler is allowed to pick the stip, but he said that he's not announcing it until it is, match time. So there's going to be some type of stipulation. We just don't know what it is. So before we get into who we think, what do you think the stip's going to be? What do you think Ziggler is going to lean towards?
No Claymore.
No Claymore?
No Claymore.
I could see, yeah. I think he's definitely going to do something to try and handicap Drew.
Yeah.
Is it going to be no Claymore, or is he going to do something along the line of Drew has to have one hand tied behind his back? You know what I mean? Something like that.
Orange, what's his name? My man who wrestled with his hands in his pockets.
Oh, Orange Cassidy.
Yeah. But I think it'll be something to the effect of no strikes, no Claymore, something along those lines. And you think one hand behind his back?
Yeah, I think it's going to be something like it's going to definitely, I think, be something that handicaps Drew. I don't think it's going to be like, I don't think he's going to say like ladder match or any. It's going to be something to put Drew behind an 8-ball. It's either going to be you're not allowed to use your finisher, you're not allowed, you can only use one hand. It's going to be something along those lines that handicap Drew. All that said, I still think Drew wins.
Yeah. Even with no Claymore, he'll still win.
Yeah. No Claymore, so he'll go back to use the old Future Shock DDT.
Just punch him. He just punch him.
Yeah, give him the old Scottish kiss with the headbutt. Whatever. But like I said, he's going to try and handicap him somehow, but I don't think it makes a difference. So.
No, I got you.
All right. Before we get into our last confirmed match, I want to discuss what I think the other two matches for SmackDown are likely to be based on what we've been seeing. I think we're probably going to see a SmackDown Tag Team Championship match, and it'll probably be like a tables match based on the way things went down last Friday. And it'll be obviously the New Day defending against Shinsuke Nakamura and Cesaro. So, the way that played out last week, they got the tables, they beat them up and everything. I mean, you're pretty much telegraphing, hey, we're going to have a tables match. So, if that goes down and it goes down like if it's not a tables match, it's going to be probably like a TLC match. But they usually try and save the TLC match for the TLC pay-per-view.
So they're just going to make just a table match.
So I think it'll be just a straight-up tables are going to be involved one way or another, either a straight-up table match or a TLC match. That's my guess. So
I think for me, I think I'm going to go – I think Cesaro and Nakamura.
Cesaro and Nakamura?
I think so. I think Cesaro takes Big E through a table.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with you. We haven't had any, well, you haven't had any switches yet. I had the U.S. title switch, but we haven't really seen any major, shifts and title movement and everything kind of since Mania. I think the only title that's really moved is that U.S. title. So.
How do you think they get the win though?
I think Kofi takes the shot.
Okay.
I think he'll try something crazy, because he's the more athletic of the two, some type of, and they'll move out of the way and it'll go through the tape. I think it'll be something along those lines.
Okay.
So, and then the other one that I think we're going to get out of SmackDown, which hasn't been confirmed, but it's like 99% confirmed based on the way they kind of set things up last week, is the bar fight between Jeff Hardy, and Sheamus. So, like I said, they didn't officially announce that, but all signs are pointing to it at this point. Like I said, it's about 99%. So, what do you got there?
Could I defer to you?
You want to defer to me to start? I'm gonna go with Jeff on this one simply because the last time, when they fought at Backlash, Sheamus won that one. So, you go round 2, it's got to go to the other guy to set up the rubber match.
Traditionally, that's what will happen. But we need some excitement. I'm going to go Sheamus with the win again this time.
No, 2 in a row.
Leading Jeff to say one last here, slam Sheamus versus Jeff Hardy. And I'll give my prediction on that match at SummerSlam.
Yeah. All right, so here's a little side thing on that one. We get a bar fight. Now, are they going to go ahead and fly these guys to Rhode Island and do it at Tim White's Friendly Tap?
Yeah. And it's gonna be pre-recorded, obviously, at Tim White's Friendly Tap.
Yeah, we gotta, and do we get if it's a bar fight? Do we get a Ron Simmons cameo? Damn.
Yeah. He already up there. He already at the bar.
Right. And then the last match to discuss, the one that we know about, the non-title match, Universal Champion Braun Strowman versus Follow the Buzzards Bray Wyatt, the Eater of Worlds Bray Wyatt, in a Wyatt swamp fight.
Yeah.
Obviously, this is a cinematic match. Obviously, this is going to be pre-recorded. I don't know where they're going to do it at. Maybe they're going to drive down I-4 and go to Gatorland. I don't know.
Gatorland after dark.
Yeah.
But I think Braun gets this win too. I think he has the run.
Even though it's non-title.
Yeah, even though it's non-title. I think he gets this win also. And it sets up finally him and the Fiend, Bray Wyatt, at SummerSlam.
I would, like I said, if the world was normal right now, I would agree with you. But I don't think I think that they're trying to save off a lot of these blow-offs and these big things for when they have people to react to it. I mean, I know I sound like a little bit like a broken record, but
no, but that's a variable. That's a variable.
Yeah, I mean, it's the reality we're in right now, and like I said, you don't want to break the Fiend out and do all that kind of stuff for nothing. For a couple of PC recruits to be standing on the side clapping. So I'm gonna say Bray wins this one, but Braun still looks strong and does the kind of maybe after he loses the actual match, he does something and to Bray, which causes things to escalate further to have to justify needing to go back to the Fiend and all that. But when that plays out, I don't know. Like I said, I don't know when we're going to finally see that Fiend-Braun confrontation, because I think it all is contingent on when we can kind of get back to some sense of normalcy and have, people to react to it. Is that September? Is it October? Is who knows?
2024.
So, but I'm going to say that, that Bray wins this match because they've specifically made a point of saying it's a non-title situation. So,
yeah, I still think that he has to go through all of his past in order to get up to the Fiend and make it a big But, you know, because he can beat this Bray Wyatt, the Follow the Buzzers Bray, and they can still hold off that if they don't see the trajectory of them being ready for SummerSlam in time. You can spin them off in a feud with somebody else for that SummerSlam time. You can always bring the Big Show back, you know, for SummerSlam, or Mark Henry.
Yeah. Well, Big Show's spinning with Randy Orton right now.
Yeah.
They got him as the spot filler right now because Edge is out.
Yeah, but you know what I mean. You can grab somebody. You can grab a Lashley or something to kind of throw it. You know what I mean. And have it be kind of a showdown. Have Lashley look strong against them, and then bring it back maybe for Survivor Series if it opens up. But then you have the Fiend at Survivor Series against Braun.
Yeah, I mean, I think that works. Like I said, the Fiend at Survivor Series or the Fiend at a Hell in a Cell or something like that, plays out a lot better. And that's October, November time frame, and we might be a little bit back to normalcy by then. Who knows?
I hope so.
We all hope so. So those are our predictions for the card here. Give the channel a like, a share, a subscribe, please. And everybody be safe out there. Take care of one of each other, and we'll see you when we see you.
See you when we see you. All right, brother, I got to run this other meeting.